I'm going to take a trip to the powder room. I'll be right back, Dolores. Don't leave me alone for too long, Agnes. It's awfully chilling here at night. Oh! Dolores, you be looking different. Imaginary Friends Asylum is a psychological horror game developed and published by Grant Mars. You play as a child named Anthony Rivers who is forced to live in an insane asylum. But you will not go at this alone, as you will meet a cast of friends who are also in the asylum that will help you through this harsh journey, and they all seem to have an imaginary friend with them that all have different personalities and want to help the best they can, and they will be needed as a killer is on the loose in the asylum named the Ghost of the Asylum, and he must be stopped before it is too late. Oh, they're gone. Everyone probably went to the lunchroom. I should make my bed first, or the nurses will scold me. Is that blood? What was that? Looked like a witch doctor. Witch doctor, is that you? I thought the story of this game was a little weird, especially with the imaginary friend part of it, but overall I thought it was a pretty good game, but it is very dark. It touches on some pretty serious subjects throughout the game, and since it's also happening to children, it will probably be a little tough for some people to get through. But the developer was trying to make the game more realistic to what happened in these asylums during this time period, which was 1949. The nurses are brutal to all the kids, downright terrible, barely treat them like humans at all, and if they step out of line at all, they send the kids to the punishment room, which is like a padded cell where they have to stay for an undisclosed amount of time. The nurses are so terrible though that some actions are worth going to the punishment room for. Which one of us are you talking to? Oh please, obviously I mean the functional one out of you two. That little monster can't even speak. He'll never leave. Oh! I didn't do it! Every kid also has to go through treatment almost daily, and this treatment would be seen as pretty much torture for anyone nowadays, from electroshock therapy to being injected with chemicals. It is very clear that this seems more like an experiment on children, rather than them actually wanting to try to make the kids better, which is just terrible. But at least they feed the kids slop. Whoa, hey, Mr. Rivers, you're due to take your pills now. Okay. I'm supposed to make sure you take them. I don't feel like standing here all day, so get to it. I took them. Now get the fuck away from me so I can eat my mold. Good, and before I go, make sure you eat every last bit of that food. Wasting food is not allowed here. Alright, well, I mean, there's molds. Mold. There, you happy? Now get the fuck away. Outside the story itself, there isn't really much to the gameplay here. It is pretty much cleaning things for your chores, such as picking up trash outside and cleaning the bathroom, to name a few. There are also a couple platforming sections, and the game has some mini-games such as going to school or trying to find items. Some of these are timed, and some of them aren't. The timed ones can be stressful to do, as you are sometimes trying to find items like a pencil and paper to write on before you are caught by the nurses in the hallways. Now, I don't think there is any punishment for the time running out, other than you having to start the mission over again, so there are no branching paths here that change the story to my knowledge. There are also stealth missions that you will do to try to sneak around people like the nurses to try to get to your destination. They will kind of walk back and forth in predetermined paths, and you will have to time when to go to get by them. I thought the majority of the minigames were really easy, and other than the first sneak mission when I got caught a couple of times because I was trying to figure out what I had to do, once I was able to figure all that out, it wasn't really that hard. So there isn't much difficulty here. You could tell that they were going for more of a narrative-driven experience rather than a gameplay-driven experience, and that's okay, because I thought the story was well told and well done. Some of the issues I had with the game was, in some areas, it was just way too dark. There was a section in the latter half of the game where I just couldn't really see anything. I was pretty much guessing my way through the whole area, and I think this area needed to be brightened up a bit. I know they were trying to go for that more, like, secluded, darker kind of thing, but when you can't really see, it makes the game a lot tougher to play. So I do feel like it needed to be brightened up just a little bit, so it didn't feel like you were running blind. It also felt like some of the mini games could have been used more. Like in the school section, the idea of being in school in the asylum was only used once. I feel like this could have been expanded on more and had more sections like this in the game instead of just doing it once and then never doing it again, especially for a 15-hour game that is about 3 hours long. Not that I was any good in the school section anyway, as I forgot what shape a stop sign was. Good, let's begin. It's a octagon. Oh, it was a hexagon. I don't see the point of being a dick about it, like you're fucking Banbaleena, alright? And speaking of the game length, I do wish the game would have been longer. I feel like there was so much more meat on the bone to learn more about the characters here, all their backstories, both the children and the imaginary friends. And hopefully we will be able to get that in a sequel in the future. In the end, I thought the game was solid and did a good job of telling a story about the brutalness of an asylum in the 40s, and what people and children had to go through in that time period. The game really makes you feel for the characters and makes you root for them to get out of there before they get harmed. However, I do think everything outside the story does need a little bit of work. More variations on minigames, maybe even some different variations of puzzles to help break up sections of the game that are starting to feel a bit samey to others. And that is why I am giving Imaginary Friends Asylum a 7 out of 10. This game was really close to getting an 8 because of how much I just really enjoyed the story, but I feel like it was held back just a tad by a couple dull chore sections and the lighting in some sections of the game. That being said, I really did enjoy my time with this game, and I think story-wise they did a great job, and I hope we were able to see a sequel in the future so they can really flesh out these characters even more and their imaginary friends. What did you think of Imaginary Friends Asylum? Did you like it more or less than I did? Let me know in the comment section below. But that is going to do it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.